All right, as we head into today's session, this is our final session for this year, 2024, moving into 2025. Tomorrow, we are going to complete our 1-rep max deadlift. Now, over the last 2 months, we've basically been building up some volume, building up some consistency with the pattern itself. And then this last month, we've emphasized a lot more on the technique of a single. So maintaining multiple reps, but single reps at a time, with the intention to practice that setup sequence for today. So essentially, the last 8 weeks is building up to today for a 1-rep max deadlift. Now, what I have here is a suggested warm-up routine to build to that 1 rep, but think of this as kind of a guide to get you to that heavier weights. Starting off with 1 set of 5 between 40 to 50%, 1 set of 3 between 50 to 60%, 1 set of 2 between 60 to 70%. And then from there, we've got 4 to 5 working sets starting at 70% and building to your 1-rep max for the day. Now, if we look at last week's as an example, we completed 4 sets of 2 between that 90 and 95%. The idea was to keep the weights dense, keep them tight together so that way we're not making large incremental jumps. Today, on the other hand, because we're going to 1-rep max, we don't want to expend so much energy at those multiple reps at those heavier weights. We're going to want to make a little bit more aggressive incremental jumps. Now, if you've never maxed out your deadlift before, then just kind of listen to your body. And if we can maintain technique, make maybe 15 to 20 pound incremental jumps. If that bar feels stuck to the ground, remember, it's not a very fast movement. As long as we can maintain a nice flat lumbar curve, the upper back might find ourselves getting a little bit forward. But again, we want to make sure that we are setting ourselves, creating tension before we actually initiate the lift. If we pull ourselves into a nice flat upright back position and we start to pull and we'll get pulled out of position, we didn't quite set up the right way. So in today's session, take the priority, practice your mechanics as you start from those earlier weights as we build up to that 1 rep or to the 1 reps. And then remember, from there, our goal is to see how heavy we can pull from the ground for today and end out the year with potentially a PR. Now, after we have finished off that deadlift session, we're going to go ahead and transition into a 40 on, 20 off shuttle run. So this is going to be shuttle runs from the prone position, similar to our death by 10 meters. But what we want to do is starting off on the ground from a prone position, you've got 40 seconds to work and then 20 seconds off. Our goal is to score the lowest number in 8 cycles. So looking at this, essentially what we want to make sure is kind of treating this as a Tabata. Now, Tabata is 20 on, 10 off for 8 cycles. Same thing here. We're looking at 8 cycles. So it's a total of 8 minutes of work. But what we're doing is we're doubling the time. So instead of 20 on, 10 off, we want to accumulate a little bit more reps in throughout this. So starting off on the ground in the prone position, jump up, run 10 yards or 10 meters or 30-ish feet. Get down to the ground, get back up, run over. We want to accumulate as many reps as possible. So starting from the ground, ending on the ground consists of 1 rep. If we get up and we don't quite get down to the ground, that rep doesn't count. That is now our lowest rep. So for example, let's say we start out with 8 reps in that first 40 seconds or 6 reps in that first 40 seconds. We can sustain that for the first 3 to 4, and then we start dropping off. Maybe we are only able to complete 4 reps by that 7th set. That means that last 8th set, the last 8th cycle, we're just going to complete 7 reps so we can sustain that, or at least fight to maintain that. 6 reps. At least fight to maintain that 6 reps at the end. So our score in today's session is the lowest number of reps completed within that 40 seconds of work. That's it for today, and Happy New Year.